Welcome everyone to the third part of the global healing circle, right? Or third panel, let's say. Here are only two of us. It's Christina. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm actually a holistic well-being coach, and I have the approach of healing from a holistic point of view. That means body, mind, and soul.
Yeah, and I'm Noora, and I work as an energy healer and a spiritual life coach. So I also help people to transform their lives for the better. Yeah, so today our idea was to talk a little bit about magic. Like, Christina, you want to start the conversation? What is your point of view about magic, and does it really still exist in this logical planet?
Yeah, so I think that's the big question, right? We're taught at a young age that magic is a trick. It's an illusion. It's something that isn't real. And, we kind of grow up with this, that there's always a, logical meaning behind it. And so I spent a number of years trying to figure this out. Like there has to be a scientific way. And I'm still that way about a lot of things, but there are some things that you just have to trust and know that it is outside of our logical minds. So, and I think magic is one of those things. And, I'm going to mention this. Amos, our friend here from the panel, he got me kind of hooked on this Netflix show, Magicians. And it was like, wow, it's a really cool show if you haven't seen it. And I recommend it. But it reminds you of, wow, magic is possible. It really is. But what is your
Yeah,
take?
yeah, I have, like, since I was uh, quite young, I have always known that there is something that we cannot really see or smell or touch, and I would like to kind of start from there, because we all know that our eyes can see like certain spectrum of light, but the birds can see the ultraviolet light, for example. They can see the world that we cannot, and so do cats. They see energetic forms that we don't see. The dogs, they smell and get like information so much better. They have like different wiring system in their brain. And also, like, elephants, they, for example, communicate on very low vibration that we don't really hear the sound at all, but it travels like kilometers. Like they can really hear each other's, like, from far away, because the frequency of the sound is so low, so it goes like instead of like this. And so if we just think logically, our brain is like just like receiving a limited amount of information. So how much information and worlds there are that we really don't know. And
Right.
I think the magic lies there. Like, as an energy healer, for example, I can feel in the treatment, I can feel someone's sorrow from 20 years ago. I can feel that there is a spirit coming through and wanting to start giving a message or healing. I can see that a person that I'm treating is like, his pain is really relieved in like one session, and he has had the same shoulder pain for 20 years. Like, I would call that magic, but it's like something that I don't even always know what is happening. I just have the interpretation of it. And of course, there is also called logic. If you want to start checking, you can probably find the logic behind it, but is it really like the
Yeah.
thing?
But even science, right? When we look at science, it's always changing because they're always
Yeah,
finding new things. So I think I
yeah,
mentioned before in a previous panel that, even 20 years ago, they thought that the human brain did not change, that there was no neuroplasticity. So,
Yeah.
old dog, you can't teach old dogs new tricks kind of thing. Logic was in
Mm.
place. And now look at,
Yeah.
we can change our genes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there is so much to be said in the unseen. There is always something, because you're right, we only have a perspective of about 1% of what
Yeah.
is really out there, what is actually happening. So, and even
Yeah.
our eyes are only, what we see is only an interpretation of our brains, Uh,
Yeah.
our eyes don't actually see, it's our brains that see.
Exactly.
So, and even in our vision, if you're looking, you only see a portion of what is actually going on. So
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you think about whatever Harry Potter, where they give the spells and stuff, people don't really understand the power that they do have in their thoughts and their words. Like, for example, in the treatments, I actually do remove curses. And curses are not like some spells that a witch did. They are like
Yeah.
just
In
someone's
here.
else thoughts that
Yeah.
they were sent with a bad intention, and sometimes they stick and they are not cleared from the energy system if the intention was, let's say, strong enough, and what is that? I think that's also magic in the way that we think. You can actually like wish someone something very bad and that will happen, or you can wish something very good and that can happen. So
Yes.
that's why the spells go both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's really leads into something that I'm truly, truly fascinated with is telepathy, because we all have the ability. It is not magic. It is something
Yeah.
innate in our human being that we can communicate with our thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think my take on it is that when we communicate, consciously communicate through our thoughts, and the other person is not aware of this ability, they get the thought, but they often
Yeah.
think it's their own thought. So
Yeah.
if you think, if you look at just someone, you're thinking of someone and then they call you
Hmm.
and then they say, "Oh, I was thinking of you." Well, that's because you were sending them the thought
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
thought it was their own thought because they're not aware that of this ability. So I
Yeah.
think it would benefit everyone to really learn this as a language. They should teach this in schools. So
Yeah.
I think it's
Definitely.
fascinating.
Yeah, it's definitely fascinating, and it's all about like the energetic connection that they, in that moment, the person was strongly thinking and already sending the energy towards the other person, and the other person picked the energy and was like, oh yeah, how is he doing? And then the phone rings, right? And then it's not only about with one-to-one people, we also have the collective
Absolutely.
consciousness. And for example, during the corona time, people have had so much more anxiety and so much more problems, and that's not even necessarily their own anxiety, but it's the
Absolutely.
anxiety of the collective consciousness. So that's also, if you think about magic, like you can start protecting yourself from
Yes.
other, you can make protective spells and protect yourself from other people's energies and collective energies, and you can be like the Harry Potter with the in what is it, invisible
Shield.
uh yeah, like this kind of rope or whatever, like what do they use? I don't know.
I
Yeah, I
haven't
don't know
seen
the
Harry
word.
Potter, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's the one that, it's like the long thing, and they kind
Cloak.
of like
Cloak.
cloak. Yeah,
Yeah.
cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah. So anyway, like, what are those? Those are also magic, in my opinion. It's not maybe the card trick, but but I think it's the magic in a deeper meaning.
Yes.
And for example, I had this one healer that I know from Poland, Eva, and there is actually in my YouTube channel the interview of her, and she does this tradition of these Slavic dolls, that they make a doll of just like some string and some fabric and something, like it's not like a real doll with everything, it's just like an idea of a doll. And the point is that they give the doll one task to do, something that they truly wish, that they want to have. And they sacrifice something for the doll. They give them a gift that is like valuable, because when you give value out, then you are really committed to energetically to do the thing. And then basically it's like working with yourself, it's like coaching yourself to get what you want, but you have all the time this doll that is kind of like an outside entity that is like giving you the power and giving you the courage to do something that you have to do.
Ah,
And then
interesting.
when yeah, and then when the doll has made it happen, then then that's the thing, like you can only give one mission to a doll, and then you have to do a new one.
It's
So
so
that's also
fascinating.
magic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
And it's so fascinating because from my point of view in that, so the doll is a creation of yourself, right? You
yeah,
created the doll. It's not something
yeah,
outside of you. So that
yeah,
is that kind of mirror um, that will reflect back to you what you really desire. So it's almost like a placebo kind of a thing, you know?
yeah. Yeah, and because it's outside of you, then you
You
can
can
actually
see
like
it. Yeah.
probably see yourself like better, because
Yeah.
it's not about you anymore, it's about that. So
Right.
it's kind of like putting you outside of yourself, so you're out of your own limitations, and probably we will get like more clarity and courage.
Yes. I love
And
that.
of
I
course,
love that.
yeah,
So with
but
Halloween coming
actually,
up, do they celebrate Halloween in Finland?
well, it's very like lately, well, in my childhood there was no Halloween,
Yeah, I didn't
but
think so.
nowadays we have everything, because Finland is like a little America nowadays, and we have everything. We even have like Black Friday weekend, which is like weird, because we never had it before. Like nowadays it's a big thing here too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
how?
yeah,
Yeah.
just wondering like what do you see Halloween to be about? And I mean, other cultures have different ideas of it, but since you're kind of taking on the American tradition, what does it mean to you? Especially not having it
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah. Well, in Finland, traditionally there has been a day called the Memorial Day of the people who passed away, and so basically we have the same idea of like remembering the people who are not here in this realm anymore. But it has never really been a big thing. Like nowadays with the Halloween, I feel that it's like a little bit commercial, and it's not like really anything big. We have a bigger tradition during the Easter. Then we have the Easter witches, and they're like we have a lot of magic around the Easter time.
Ah,
So I would say that that's our Halloween actually, and a lot of magical things happening. And also the midsummer, when it's the nightless night, that's when the sun is up 24 hours a day, when it's light all the time. That's a very energetically very strong time also. And we have a lot of like old traditional spells for that time,
mm,
for finding the man you want, or getting
well,
good
that's fun.
harvest or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for
How
Halloween,
about there?
yeah, I think it, some people may say, it's a kid's holiday, but to get your tricks and your treats and all of that stuff, more about the treats. But I think it really is about becoming this kind of alter ego for an evening. You know,
Mm,
it's playing a different role. It's this um allowing maybe the shadow to come out a little bit and
right.
show yourself in a different light. And I think that's pretty magical, that
Yeah.
people allow themselves to just open up and show that shadow side of them. Um,
Yeah.
so it's fun, and most people take it as fun. So yeah, yeah, because a lot of
Yeah.
us kind of tend to damper and push that shadow away. But
Mm.
I really think it's kind of like an alter ego that we push down, that we really want to become this kind of aspect of ourselves that gives us an opportunity to just be that aspect for a night. So
Yeah. Cool. And do you see that there is like something energetically happening there
I
during
think
that time?
energetically, it depends on where you are, right?
Mm,
So if you're kind of at a party, it's most of the time you're at a party if you're an adult.
mm,
So energetically, I think it's just a fun opening, really, because you're seeing
mm.
sides of people that you wouldn't normally see.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of, you're showing something that people don't normally see. And it's that sharing of that energy and opening up. And it's just really
Mm.
kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And do you have there like any very old ancestral traditions during that time that you would have like spells or something? No.
No, no,
No.
I've never experienced that with Halloween. Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
I'm an October baby, so my birthday's right
Ah,
around then.
when is your birthday?
The 23rd.
I
So
have 27th.
yeah, yeah.
Here
So
we are,
yeah,
October babies.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's never been really about that. Yeah, it's more been
Yeah.
about fun. But
Yeah.
yeah. Well, this was an
Cool.
interesting conversation, but
Definitely.
yeah, I think we come to a conclusion and would love to hear anybody's questions on anything. If there's anything you'd like us to talk about, please write it down in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, and if you want us to talk even more about this, like esoteric or even like unseen world stuff, let us know if you have a certain topic, then we can cover that in one episode. Now this was a little bit overall about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
That's great. Thank you very much for everyone for watching, and just feel free to send us messages, and hopefully Amos will be with us next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Bye.
Bye.